back to the channel. Today we're going to unravel some incredibly complex events in Genoa. Rumors are circulating around the Newman family, but what's the truth? In this video, I'll summarize the plot points that will be revealed in the next episode. Stay tuned to see what happens.
Welcome back to our channel, dedicated viewers. Today is a truly spectacular day to dive into the scandalous, thrilling, and ever-evolving world of Genoa City. Grab your favorite beverage, settle into a comfortable spot, and let us unpack the latest explosive twists heading our way. We have a massive, game-changing revelation to discuss today, so let us get straight into the heart of the drama without any further delay. The city of Genoa City has always been a battleground for corporate espionage, bitter family rivalries, and shocking betrayals. But the current conspiracy unfolding in the shadows is poised to shatter everything the Abbott family holds dear. At the very epicenter of this psychological labyrinth stands Dr. Lawrence Markham, a man who arrived with impeccable medical credentials and an aura of absolute professional authority. He was supposedly the guiding light for Patty Williams, the esteemed psychiatrist who signed off on her miraculous rehabilitation and release. Yet, beneath this polished, clinical veneer lies a malevolent puppet master who has been orchestrating a symphony of destruction. The Abbott family, already bleeding from Patty's lethal antics and the terrifying framing of Diane Jenkins, is about to uncover a truth so profoundly disturbing that it will rewrite their entire history. This seemingly trustworthy figure is not a healer, but a predator hiding in plain sight, and the consequences of his unmasking will send catastrophic shockwaves through the entire community. Tracy Abbott has always been the emotional anchor and the intuitive soul of the Abbott family, possessing a unique ability to see beyond the masks that people wear. When Dr. Lawrence Markham first arrived in town to consult on Patty Williams, Tracy immediately experienced a chilling sense of dread. There was something inexplicably familiar and deeply unsettling about the man's demeanor, a dark, suffocating aura that instantly triggered her survival instincts. Tracy is not one to jump to baseless conclusions, but her gut feeling screamed that this esteemed medical professional was hiding a terrifying secret beneath his calm exterior. She felt a visceral repulsion, a creeping realization that the man evaluating Patty's sanity was fundamentally broken himself. This initial, creeping suspicion serves as the crucial catalyst for the covert, high-stakes investigation that is about to unfold within the walls of the Abbott mansion. The return of Ashley Abbott to Genoa City could not possibly come at a more critical and desperate juncture for her family. With Jack recovering from a near-fatal coma and the family business vulnerable to outside attacks, Ashley brings her brilliant, highly analytical mind back to the forefront of the Abbott dynasty. Recognizing Tracy's profound unease and trusting her sister's infallible intuition, Ashley decides to partner with her to dig deep into Dr. Markham's heavily guarded background. The Abbott sisters form a formidable, unstoppable investigative duo, seamlessly combining Tracy's sharp emotional intelligence with Ashley's meticulous, scientific approach to problem-solving. Together, they are absolutely determined to peel back the layers of Dr. Markham's pristine credentials, cross-reference his past, and expose the lethal rot that is hiding underneath his professional facade. As the sisters begin their covert inquiry, they start piecing together a series of bizarre and highly suspicious signs that have been hiding in plain sight all along. One of the most glaring red flags is located directly within Dr. Markham's own private home office. During Diane Jenkins' terrifying and traumatic captivity, she astutely noted a massive bookshelf completely stuffed with the literary works of Alan Laurent. Why would a supposedly unrelated, independent psychiatrist be so intensely obsessed with Alan's specific body of work? This peculiar detail strikes Tracy and Ashley as far more than just a professional coincidence. It feels like a psychological trophy case. It is a subtle, arrogant nod to a past life that the doctor is desperately trying to conceal while simultaneously flaunting it right under the noses of his victims. The terrifying clues certainly do not stop at the bookshelf. In a seemingly casual, throwaway conversation during her captivity, Diane once brought up the topic of astrology, noting that Dr. Markham's zodiac sign is Gemini, which is famously represented by the symbol of the twins. When she pointed out the inherent duality of his astrological sign, Markham chillingly joked that he liked to think of himself as entirely unique. This piece of dialogue is a massive, deliberate breadcrumb dropped by the universe. The theme of twins is inextricably linked to the dark, violent history of Alan Laurent and his wicked, identical twin brother, Martin Laurent. The Abbott sisters quickly realize that this Gemini reference is a massive psychological slip, a subconscious admission of his true, dual nature and his hidden identity. Then comes the most damning and undeniable piece of the puzzle. The name itself. Dr. Lawrence Markham is phonetically and structurally a haunting echo of the name Martin Laurent. The rhythmic similarities and the shared initials are simply too striking to ignore for women as intelligent as Tracy and Ashley. As Ashley applies her rigorous analytical skills to the timeline of Martin's supposed downfall and Markham's sudden meteoric rise to prominence in the psychiatric field, the pieces begin to snap together in a horrifying, irrefutable picture. The Abbott sisters hypothesized that Martin Laurent did not face the justice everyone believed he did. Instead, he orchestrated a masterful, blood-chilling escape, stealing the identity of a legitimate medical professional to infiltrate Genoa City's elite circles undetected. How could a known criminal like Martin Laurent walk the streets of Genoa City interacting with his former victims and enemies without being immediately recognized? The history of this town is filled with characters utilizing extreme, theatrical measures to completely alter their physical appearances. The Abbott sisters deduce that whether through extensive, state-of-the-art plastic surgery or the use of a hyper-realistic, custom-made prosthetic mask, Martin has managed to completely camouflage his original face. This staggering level of deception highlights the sheer magnitude of his psychopathy and his relentless dedication to his craft. He has not just assumed a new, fake name, he has completely stolen a life complete with impeccable medical credentials, allowing him to manipulate the justice system and the Abbott family with terrifying, unhindered ease. Ashley and Tracy's relentless investigation leads them to a chilling, nightmarish theory about exactly how this monstrous identity theft occurred in the first place. They strongly suspect that after Martin's previous reign of terror, he managed to secretly infiltrate the very psychiatric facility where Patty Williams was being held for her own crimes. Rather than rotting in a prison cell or a padded room, Martin likely targeted the real Dr. Lawrence Markham, eliminating the innocent man and seamlessly assuming his entire identity. By taking over the doctor's life and practice, Martin gained the ultimate, unchecked power, the legal and medical authority to declare criminally insane individuals like Patty as fully rehabilitated. This gave him the perfect and traceable weapon to unleash upon Jack Abbott and the rest of his sworn enemies. The impending revelation of Dr. Markham's true identity will have catastrophic, mind-shattering implications for Patty Williams. Patty, a woman driven by her own severe delusions, deep trauma, and violent obsessions, genuinely believed she had found a sympathetic, allied mastermind in Dr. Markham. She thought he was merely a corrupt doctor willing to facilitate her twisted, romantic reunion with Jack Abbott. However, discovering that she has been nothing more than an unwitting, manipulated pawn in Martin Lawrence's grand, sadistic chess game will completely shatter her fragile psyche. Patty's reaction to being out-manipulated and used by a fellow psychopath will be explosive and entirely unpredictable, potentially turning her violent, unhinged rage away from Diane Jenkins and directing it straight toward the man who played her for a fool. The betrayal orchestrated by this fake doctor runs incredibly deep and taints multiple institutions across the city. Dr. Markham used his highly trusted position to prescribe lethal toxins, facilitate Patty's disguise as a hospital nurse, and orchestrate the near-fatal stabbing of Jack Abbott right in his own home. He expertly weaponized the medical and legal systems, hiding behind a crisp white coat while pulling the strings of a deadly, sprawling conspiracy. When Tracy and Ashley finally gather enough concrete, undeniable evidence to expose him, the fallout will violently rock the Genoa City Medical Board and the local police department. Detective Burrow, who blindly trusted Markham's professional assessment to corner and arrest Diane, will have to face the humiliating, career-ending reality that he was duped by a master criminal. The climax of this dark storyline will inevitably feature a high-stakes, terrifying confrontation between the Abbott sisters and the monster they have unmasked. Armed with their undeniable proof and fueled by a fierce desire to protect their brother, Tracy and Ashley will corner the man they now know to be Martin Laurent. This showdown will not just be a battle of words. It will escalate into a terrifying psychological thriller. Martin, realizing his brilliant, years-long masquerade is finally crumbling around him, will drop the benevolent, caring doctor persona and reveal the cold, calculating, murderous monster beneath. The Abbott sisters will find themselves in grave, immediate physical danger as Martin attempts to permanently silence the only two people who have successfully unraveled his impossible deception. If Martin's true identity is fully exposed to the public, the consequences for the Abbott family and their legacy will be monumental and long-lasting. Jack, currently fighting to recover from his medically induced coma, will eventually wake up to a world where his entire family was nearly decimated by a ghost from the past. Kyle, who has already risked his freedom, his reputation, and his life to protect his parents from Patty, will be forced to reckon with the horrifying fact that the conspiracy goes much deeper and is far more sinister than Patty Williams alone. The Abbott family will have to unite their fractured bonds like never before to ensure that Martin Laurent is finally brought to permanent, inescapable justice, closing a dark, bloody chapter that has haunted them for far too long. Diane Jenkins, who actually accurately predicted Martin's eventual downfall in the past, will find a grim, unsettling vindication in this shocking revelation. She was the one who astutely noticed the Alan Laurent books on the shelf and the chilling Gemini comment while being held captive against her will. Her sharp survival instincts and keen memory will prove absolutely crucial to Tracy and Ashley's ongoing investigation. However, the profound trauma of being held hostage by a disguised, deranged serial killer will leave deep, lasting psychological scars on Diane's mind. She will have to navigate the terrifying, lingering reality that the man who was legally evaluating her sanity was, in fact, the most insane, dangerous, and lethal individual in the entire room. Ultimately, the exposure of Martin Laurent masquerading as Dr. Lawrence Markham will send massive, unstoppable shockwaves through every corner of Genoa City. It will force every major family, especially the powerful Newmans and the influential Abbotts, to completely reevaluate their personal security and their blind trust in external, supposedly vetted professionals. Victor Newman, who prides himself on knowing everything about everyone in his town, will be absolutely furious that such a colossal, deadly threat operated right under his nose without detection. The scandal will dominate the front pages of the Genoa City Chronicle for months, serving as a grim, terrifying reminder that the most dangerous monsters do not lurk in the dark alleys. They hide in plain sight, wearing the trusted faces of those we are conditioned to believe in the most.